A documentary film is a non-fictional motion picture intended to document some aspect of reality, primarily for the purposes of instruction, education, or maintaining a historical record. Documentary has been described as a filmmaking practice, a cinematic tradition, and mode of audience reception that is continually evolving and is without clear boundaries. The filmmakers must learn everything they can about their documentary subject. Sometimes the storylines are obvious, sometimes not. They must do a lot of digging and follow leads. Gather facts and search for leads on interesting characters and storylines.
So this is to record movies, this is to record still images. And this is
Oh, wait, no, it's on camera right now.
The gems of your story are sometimes buried deep out of sight.
I don't know what I just did. I just turned it off.
So what kind of questions are you planning on answering with this documentary?
Asking or kind of questions getting answered then? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, the kind of overall story that you want to tell with it.
Yeah. So with our story, we're interviewing Morris. We're rigging out the airport. And some questions we're going to ask him is how he got started, what motivated him to get into flight, what motivated him to continue flying. And the premise of our video is not only a short little commercial for his business, but it also hopefully inspires other people to stick with their dreams, follow it, and become masters at their profession, because Morris has been flying for thousands of hours, and I would consider him a master of his trade. So that's kind of the premise of our video, and our questions are going to be slated to answer those questions, or get the answers we want from him.
Would you say there have been, or you're anticipating any challenges regarding the production of this documentary?
Yeah, our biggest challenge is we're getting some new equipment that I have to pick up tomorrow in Minneapolis, and the weather's supposed to be bad, so that's our first challenge. But for the actual shooting side of it, when it comes to flight, we need to make sure there's no temporary flight restrictions so we can't fly, because a lot of our shots can be inside the plane or from another plane actually. And then weather-wise, we need to have a good day for weather. So those are our two biggest concerns for our shooting day on November 20th.
What kind of locations will you be filming this in?
Our primary location is going to be surrounding Madison, and then also the airport, Madison Airport. We're going to be doing a few time lapses on the outside on the runway with planes and the sun rising and such, and doors opening, and a few different slow motion shots inside the hangar. So primarily all of our shots will be done near the airport or around the airport.
Research can take a long time and plenty of work. The filmmakers must be willing to put in an enormous amount of man-hours to find all of the relevant information. After that is finding videos, pictures, and other corroborating evidence. The filmmakers must be sure to interview several people to get their opinions and idea. After that is the outline. A story and the structure must be determined. They need to clearly define the core story points and advertise the compelling elements. Next, the filmmaker must collect the footage. Along with the interviews from the research, they also need to film other relevant information for the project. This will primarily be something to keep the eyes busy as they talk about their subject. The visuals must accentuate the narrator's points. After all the footage has been shot and the other various production elements have been gathered, it must be organized into a script. After that is the mind-numbing editing process and the various legal and copyright issues.
We just got done doing a narrative, so had the students create something from their imaginations to shoot, and now we're telling some real stories about real people, and so that's what I have in mind. I want them to deal with reality, or at least reality as they see it, their perception of it, and telling real people stories. You know, what's interesting is I've got 2 or 3 people who are doing it all by themselves, and then I've got several groups who are working on it. So it'll be interesting to see how the individuals and their projects are different than the folks who work in groups. I do wish that students would, have more of a political agenda sometimes, and do something that has more sociological, or some kind of movement study or something like that. But it
that is left is the distribution. From theaters to TV, DVDs, and the web, never has it been so easy to share our creations. The last step is to finally allow yourself to rest.
I want them to see how, even though it's a documentary, there's still storytelling involved. That's the number one thing.